Yes, imagine me, Kathy Griffin, in a full goat costume. Like a furry. Hi, you guys. I'm Kathy Griffin, and welcome to Kathy Griffin Talk Your Head Off. Have I got an episode for you? Unexpected. That's right. First of all, I'm wearing my name tag from an event I went to last night. So the hell with that. If you don't know who I am by now, it's me, Reba. I'm wearing the same dress that I wore last night because I'm still traumatized. All right, do you guys know who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is? If you younger folks don't know, here's his latest book. He is a legend. I mean, he held the record for the most points scored by any basketball player for 40 years. He was called the GOAT. People would have arguments, is Jordan the GOAT or Kareem, and now LeBron's in there. I don't know a lot about sports, very little. But I do love his beautiful mind because he's an amazing writer. And this book is about social justice. And he even focuses on how poorly women have been treated in all the various movements and how women are being put backwards in today's Trump's America and all that other stuff. So I'm actually a fan of his writing, and I know a little bit about his basketball career. We met when I was on a show called Chris Matthews, which used to be on MSNBC. And I was a guest talking about some political topic, and then I found out that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was going to be the other guest. And so I went early to meet him, and I sat next to him. And just so you know, he is famously unapproachable. He won't even take pictures with kids. And I just love that about him. No, don't leave. This is the basketball part. Olivia, come on. Come on. I mean, that's a bad sign when my own dog is like, not this story. Anyway, I promise it's a good story. Oh, you put all your body weight on the smallest dog. Are they spooning? I'm pro spooning. You know, I'm the little spoon. If anybody out there wants to spoon me, I just want to be clear, I'm the little spoon. I got to meet the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I've read all of his essays, and I'm such a fan. But I know he's like very unapproachable and very aloof, and famously so. And in the Laker days, he was known for sort of not being fan friendly, and you know me, I just love that shit. Like, that's my kind of celebrity. It's just somebody who doesn't give a fuck, and just the focus he had in the game of basketball is so dazzling to me, and I'll tell you why. I'm not a porn person. My porn is excellence. And I know this might come off as weird, but when people say to me, what's the best thing about being a celebrity? D-list as I am, my favorite thing about being a celebrity is the opportunities that I've had to meet people who possess real excellence. Like, I have a heart-on for true excellence. And so I think Kareem is such a living legend because the focus that he had in his sport, the excellence he displayed there, and then to go on and have the post-basketball career as a true social justice warrior, you know, working with Muhammad Ali. He interviewed Dr. Martin Luther King when he was in high school. Like, he's just done something with his post-athletic career that I don't know that anybody else has ever done. And so I was so excited to meet him. Now, he's not a big talker, and so I have to go through his manager, Karen. And I'm just gonna be honest, she's nuts and she's a pain in the ass. When I wrote the joke for him at the Democratic National Convention, I'm very proud. So first of all, let's revisit that joke now.
I'm Michael Jordan, and I'm here with Hillary. I said that because I know that Donald Trump couldn't tell the difference.
All right, so the way that happened is the Democratic National Convention is going on. Hillary Clinton is running against Trump, of course, and we all thought Hillary was going to win. And Karen, Kareem's manager, calls me, and I'm on my couch in my pajamas, and says, Kareem is going to go out, but he's followed this very serious speech. Do you have a joke he can open with? Now, you guys, I'm not a classic joke writer. I never said I was. I tell stories, and I tell stories about my own life. So I didn't know what to do, and I said, well, I can't think of anything appropriate, but I'll try. So I'm in my pajamas and just started firing off jokes. Boom, 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 one after another. And then, sure enough, she tells the story that as he was walking out on stage, She got the final joke that she approved, and she was saying it to Kareem, and then he walked out and delivered it that way, and it got worldwide pickup. So I'm like very proud of that. So years go by, right? And sure enough, I get a call last Friday. I'm gonna start to shake because I'm still traumatized. I actually even wrote a Substack, and please subscribe and be a paid subscriber to my Substack, because I wrote an essay about my crippling depression, which is an attack that hit me last weekend amidst all of this being in Kareem world for 3 days. So Karen calls me Friday and says, Kareem would like to invite you to his book launch that he's doing for this amazing new book. And it's gonna be at UCLA, where he famously went to college and played for the Bruins and was a big star for the Bruins, and then of course went to the Lakers. She goes, he's doing this rather serious talk at UCLA. Do you have an opening joke? And I'm like, how did Kathy Griffin turn into the person that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goes to for a joke? I don't know how that happened, but I love him for it, because it's like a sign of respect to me, you know what I mean? But I'll be honest, it's a little annoying that I gotta go through Karen. So she won't give me his number, and now I'm kind of used to dealing with Karen because it's been years. And I made him take me out to dinner after I wrote that joke for him for the Democratic National Convention. And we went to a restaurant that has paparazzi there. They're here. Paparazzi's here to catch me without makeup. Kidding. A shout out to the Daily Mail. Hi, you guys. And by the way, I want to thank you. Let me take a minute to thank you for watching this show. It's doing better than I thought it would. So please like and subscribe, and tell your friends to like and subscribe, because I really appreciate it. On Friday, my life changed. I didn't think it would, but I get the call from Karen about a joke. So I start firing off jokes. Now, I have picked some of the texts that are choice, because this has all been between myself and Karen. This is not Kareem, but Kareem is right next to her the whole time. So I know that game. So Karen kind of does his dirty work, maybe, I think, but I get it. He's gonna reject most of my jokes because they're gonna be inappropriate. So because he was a Bruin, and this is at UCLA, my first joke was, you walk out, you flip the birds, and you just go, the Trojans from USC, because that's the rival. And I'm very proud of myself that I even know that, by the way. And so, of course, it was like, too far, too far, too far. This is a very serious topic and a serious crowd. And I'm like, that's gonna get a standing ovation. If Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, at 78 years of age, walks out there with his cane, flips a bird and says, the Trojans, come on. Don't tell me my freaking job. I'm not asking him to come over and shoot hoops. You're calling me, asking me for a joke for free, as usual, and you're now rejecting my killer joke, which will also get press pickup. Hey, Kathy, let me know if you're available to talk with Kareem right now. We have an idea for the joke. Okay, so I didn't do it. I know I should have called him, and I know I'm being a bitch, but I was just like, no, we're not playing this game. I'm not gonna have both of them pitching me jokes, because I'm just gonna keep having to say no. So I just ignore that, don't call them, and here's my first joke. Good evening, I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I promise you I'm not dating Larsa Pippen. Come on, that's funny. Everybody knows Larsa Pippen was engaged to Michael Jordan's son, Marcus, and that Michael Jordan, who I'm quite sure is probably a good friend of Kareem's, was not happy about that relationship. Now Larsa's engaged to somebody else, but she was with Marcus Jordan for a long time, and it was a scandal. Karen writes back, first of all, we don't even know who that is, so I don't think we're going to use that joke. Okay, then you two are gonna be the only person in that auditorium of 1,400 people that don't know who Larsa Pippen is, because even I know who she is, and she was married to Scottie Pippen of the world champion Chicago Bulls. But Kareem made a joke that he can't remember how to get around campus because it's been so long and there's been so many new buildings. What if we do a joke around that? All right, you guys, that's not what I have in mind. I go, that's just an old man joke that anyone can do. He is a legend. Like, you don't want him starting the speech acting like this feeble old guy that's like Crocodile Dundee going, what's a tall building? I'm from the Outback. Like, he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, act like it, own it. So the next joke is, okay, fine. Some unknown kid named LeBron James may have broken my record for the NBA all-time scoring, but unless he can find my parking space on this godforsaken campus, I'm still the GOAT. Another reason I'm the GOAT? I refuse to date Larsa Pippen. I refuse. Come on, I'm gonna get the Larsa Pippen reference in there, the last thing I do. And plus, I know it's a little long, but it's kind of 2 jokes in one, which is all right. So then I say, can he walk out on stage with a real live goat on a leash? Not kidding, it can be arranged. So then she writes, Kareem is laughing right now. Got him. So I write back, I swear to God, I better get a blowjob out of this. Yes, I said that to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm a little proud of that, because how many women can say they had the balls to say to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I better get a blowjob out of this? Like, even Larry Bird didn't say that. And who knows what talking the Celtics did to Kareem. So then she writes, Kareem and I are laughing our heads off. So now I'm excited about the GOAT angle. Like, I'm actually thinking, wait a minute, how can we procure an actual f***ing goat? All right, so then she writes, this is even more funny. This is getting better every minute. UCLA says they are a research facility and there was just an animal protest on campus last week. She then goes, by the way, it's Friday and the event is on Monday. UCLA said no. Well, yeah, they're gonna say no no matter what day it is. So then I write to her, you ready for this? If you can find a goat costume, I will put it on myself and he will walk me out there and I will be on all fours and I will walk out like a goat. Okay, so now my assistant is online looking for goat costumes. Then I hear him calling costume stores and saying, yes, hello, do you have a adult size goat costume? No, can't be a cow. Not a Dalmatian. No, we need a goat. And there has to be horns and a full head because a mask wouldn't read. It'll be a large room. No, okay, hello? Hello? So then she starts sending me Amazon ads for goat costumes and she sends me one that's cardboard. So she writes, this is a cardboard cutout. And I go, it's too one-dimensional. Only a portion of the audience would even see the front of it. Oh boy, that is not what he's going for. Then she writes, how can we find this before Monday? It may be impossible, and we probably would have it custom made. I mean, we'd have to do that, right? It was a great idea, but there may not be enough time. Now, this is where I get into trouble because this is when I should have just said, you know what, you're right. I'll go to the event. Kareem doesn't have to do a joke. Tell him I love him. I can't wait to give him a hug. And let's just let bygones be bygones. But now I'm determined. I am determined because he likes the goat part to make it happen. So then I reach out to Team Sia and I reach out to her assistant. And her assistant says something brilliant, which is, you know, Sia's really good friends with Jimmy Kimmel, as am I. Do you think the Kimmel show would be able to come up with a goat costume for you to wear? And I'm like, oh man, that's a big favor. Like, I love Jimmy, but I don't think I've asked him for a favor like this ever in whatever decades I've known him. And it's also asking like his team to do something for this live event that's not part of the Kimmel show, but I know their wardrobe god. His name is Rodney Muniz. He's won Emmys. He is amazing. He can do anything. So I put out the call to the head of wardrobe at the Kimmel show. So I write back to Karen. Wardrobe department from Jimmy Kimmel is working on seeing if they can turn a llama costume, and I have to show you this picture because here's why they even have a human-sized llama costume. Because they made Wilmer Wilderama come out, but they called him Wilmer Wilderlama. So then she writes back, this is one of the craziest things that's ever happened. So now Karen and I are kind of bonding because at least she's admitting the level of crazy. If you pull it off, it would blow my mind, but then again, you've done that before. Okay, Karen. So I'm also thinking this might be Kareem being like, calm her down a little bit. She's going out of control. So then she says, well, the audience is going to be 1,400 people. I'm waiting for approval from UCLA. They are very regulated to see if they'll let you get in a goat costume. And I wrote, approval for a paper mache goat? And she writes, it's a whole program thing. And I wrote, he is one of the biggest names to ever come out of that school. Like, who at UCLA is gonna say, no, you can't come out with someone in a goat costume for 5 seconds. This is a 5-second joke. So then she writes, they think the topic is very serious. They feel this may take people into a serious discussion with them not taking it seriously, and the pivot might be hard for the seriousness of the topic. We'll know more tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow's Saturday. So I have now called the Kimmel Show, who, by the way, has the following week off, so they're dark. And I've called them, and they're now sourcing the Wilmer Wilder llama costume and saying, we're gonna have to hire people to turn this into a goat, provide a mask, get a little beard, and it's gonna be some money. And I said, I'll cover the costs because I'm asking them to work on a weekend and on their week off. I know, anything for Kareem. So when she says she called UCLA and they're like, oh, the pivot would be too hard. I'm like, don't talk to me about pivots. That's my department. So I write back, what? In all caps. I've called in every favor I have in Hollywood. Jimmy Kimmel is dark next week. People are going in over the weekend to do this because Kareem is Kareem. And then I don't hear back. And now, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm alone in my room crying. I did. I burst into tears. I couldn't take it anymore. I want to please him. I want to write a joke that will work for this event. I want him to sell as many books as he possibly can. And yet I've tried everything I can think of for a basketball legend. So then I just bail. And I know this is my ego talking, but I write to Karen, okay, seriously, I have to scrap the whole thing. I've called half the staff at Jimmy Kimmel. There are too many moving parts. Let me call the whole thing off now before I have the Kimmel staff working on the weekend and on a dark week. I mean, on Monday, they're off. He doesn't need to do any jokes at all. Kareem can just walk out there and be Kareem and be serious and he will be just fine. I pulled the plug, it's officially off. So I had to call back everybody that I dealt with on the Kimmel Show and write an apology text. And I wrote, I am so sorry that I've been having you guys spinning, trying to do this for me. I know it was a huge ask. I'm really, really embarrassed. You know, Kareem isn't comfortable. It's coming from his manager, who is very difficult. So I don't even know who it's really coming from, but I'm just so embarrassed. And they all wrote me back and they were all super sweet and you know. So then Karen writes me back, get this, all I wanted was a simple joke. Okay, now it's back on. Now it is back on. You did not say that, Karen. So I wrote back, I gave you one. Feel free to use it or not use it. So I have sent them several jokes, and I left some out, by the way, for time, but many, many jokes. I think I counted that it was 27 jokes by the end of the weekend. So then she writes, thank you for putting all your energy towards this. I'm sorry it was so last minute. You always have great ideas, though. I know. That's what I do sometimes. Every so often I have a great idea. Sometimes they're funny. So I write back another joke because, this is now Saturday, by the way. So on Saturday, I still can't get it out of my head that I'm determined to write a joke that he'll like. So Saturday I send him this one. I know we have a lot of matters to discuss, but let me start with this. I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I am tonight's DEI hire. Let's hope Donald Trump doesn't have me deported to USC. Come on, that's a soft landing. It's going to get an applause break because UCLA hates USC. It's the rivalry. Safe. It acknowledges the seriousness. Like, in other words, I'm going to do one joke and then we're going to get on to the serious matters. The next day, it starts again. So it's now Sunday. I've been obsessing and crying about this for 2 days. So I wake up to a text from Karen. Hey, Kathy, thank you so much for everything. And we're about to go to Berkeley. Would you like to do this again? So she's suggesting that, like, I start up again with the whole process for when they go to Berkeley. Like, oh, these jokes are gonna kill at Berkeley, but not UCLA. So I decided not to go to the event. And then I realized it was my ego talking. And the truth is, I do love and respect him so much. And I do love that this is what he does with his life. And I do love that I'm his go-to. Out of all the comedians in the world, believe it or not, I'm incredibly flattered that for some reason, Kareem would be like, Kathy will write something funny. She wrote something funny for the Democratic National Convention, and if she can do that, she can do a UCLA speech. And so I'm living on that. I'm living on crumbs, but I can't help it. Okay, so I went to the event. So I got over myself because I should, and I knew it would be an amazing evening. So prior to the speech Q&A part, Kareem did a photo op for a few special people, and I got to be invited to that. So I went to that. I saw Karen. Hello, Karen. You look great, Karen. She sent me a picture of herself in a suit telling me what she was going to wear that night. I was like, okay, I'm wearing a dress. I see Kareem, and he's sitting on a bar stool with like a UCLA thing behind him. And I know, I'm pretty sure he hates doing this. It's a photo op. He's not Mr. Social. He even addressed it in his speech. But he's being so patient, and, you know, his health is not great. So someone said to me, hey, if you go up to him, don't, you know, like give him such a bear hug that you could like knock him over and his balance isn't great. And I said, I get it, no problem. So I'm just gonna say this, I know I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but I was the only celebrity there. So I was taking a lot of selfies, and that's fine and fun and great. And then I was kind of waiting for the moment to go up to Kareem, and I did, and it was just the two of us. And then there were photographers, and a lot of people got out their phones and stuff. So I just put my elbow on his shoulder like that. Here's one of the pictures. I know, I love him so much. And so I have him alone. And when I first walked up to him and he went like this, that's our little joke. Like, I'm so outrageous that even he's like, okay, too far. And so I just was in his ear the whole time going, you better do the fucking joke. I swear to God, I spent all weekend on these jokes. I was literally crying when you didn't like the jokes. Do the goddamn joke. Listen to your old friend, Kathy Griffin. I would never steer you wrong. The joke is gonna do well. It's not too harsh. I'm sorry the goat didn't work out. You're still the goat. I love you so much. And then he started talking to me about my Substack, which I actually love, because he read my Substack. I wrote a Substack about depression because the Saturday of this weekend, I'm just gonna be honest, and please, you have to be a paid subscriber on my Substack, I'm sorry. But I actually wrote an essay about how I couldn't get out of bed on Saturday. I was so racked with depression. I didn't put in the part that it was partly because I just felt so much rejection coming from Karen. Like, it was just this wall of rejection. And, you know, as a comic, it's just very triggering. You know, I've dealt with mostly rejection. Any professional does, but a large amount of rejection. And I just spiraled. I spiraled, and I have no excuse. I fight depression. And then Kareem says, you know, it's really important that you're writing about that. It's important that people talk about that. I know, love him. Sure enough, I, you know, got to meet everyone from Kareem's girlfriend to one of his ex-wives came, who he has 3 kids with, and she was showing me pictures of the kids. And then I see 2 chairs on stage and full auditorium, 1,400 people, and I got to be in the front row. And I see 2 chairs. So I turned to the woman next to me and I said, oh, who's the moderator tonight? And she goes, Karen. Karen, you cannot make yourself the moderator. You have to hire like a professional moderator. But I get it. Kareem is comfortable with her and she knows how to prompt him. So I was kind of chuckling at her coming out. And she said, you know, I'm going to bring Kareem out and I'll be doing the moderating and we'll take some questions from you guys at the end. And he walked out. He was a little bit unsteady. So it wasn't at a podium. So I have to admit, I kind of get why it would have been a little challenging for him during a Q&A to then stop and be like, I'm not Larsa Pippen. Come on, give it up for that part. And by the way, I'm sorry, Larsa Pippen. I've met you. You've been to my house. You are lovely. I just was trying to find the right joke for Kareem, and I just thought a reference to you would work. I want you to be very happy in any relationship you're in. They do the Q&A, and Karen was hilarious because she kind of did make it about herself with a lot of the questions. And she's like, and if you have some questions for me, that's fine too. But I know you're mostly here to see him. And she asked him about everything from the Cleveland Summit, and if you don't know what that is, you've got to look it up. And the first protest that he ever happened upon, which was a riveting story he told about walking up out of the subway in Harlem and bullets flying and a protest going on, and what got him into the world of activism and why he believes that young people are going through a phase where they're just apathetic. And he was saying how it's our job as the older folks to keep talking to young people until something hits. He said, that's what I've found will get young people to become activists and become more involved and to vote more, etc. He said, you know, support the political party you believe in. We're a 2-party system, whether you like it or not. So it was an amazing Q&A. He didn't do the joke. You guys, he did not do the soft landing joke. The whole time I was watching him give a wonderful Q&A, I was bitter. I was bitter bitch, once again, because I kept waiting, like maybe he can interject the joke. And so he didn't. And I was hurt and my ego is hurt, but it's just an ego bruise. So after the event, which was very successful, he got standing ovations at the beginning and the end, as he should. Then a security guard comes up to me and he says, Kareem would like to see you backstage. So I go, yeah, and I'd like to talk to him. So I'm actually pissed. So I go backstage and there's a very small group of people and Karen is there, of course, and Kareem is sitting on a chair. And so now he's personalizing signed books. Because I got a signed book, but it wasn't personalized. And so I'm like, throw salt in the wound. Go ahead. How to hurt a comedian, 12 different ways. And so I say to Karen, can I have a minute with Kareem? And so she's like, of course, we want to get a picture of you two. And she's acting like the whole joke thing never happened. She doesn't even acknowledge it. She doesn't even say, sorry, he didn't do the joke. It just kind of wasn't appropriate. Nothing. Not thank you for spending all weekend sending us jokes. No, she's on to Berkeley. All right, so I go up and I'm now just in his ear and I just start giving it to him. I'm just going, I can't believe you didn't do that f***ing joke. I can't believe you didn't do the goat. I found you a goat. I found you a goat. And you wouldn't do it and you're calling everybody for permission. When you were playing basketball, did you ask permission to score? I don't think so. He's laughing. God love him. He's laughing the whole time. And I said, how could you do this to your old friend Kathy? And by the way, here's a picture of me yelling at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, that's right. I yelled at him and you never have. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Anyway, he did personalize the book when I said, how could you do that to your old friend Kathy? And that's it. I'm in love with him. I always will be. He is a legend. He has a legacy. I wrote one joke for him that he did and it did kill and I have to live with that. All right, I love you guys so much. I hope you liked this story. And yes, follow me on Patreon and all the other socials and I'll see you guys next week.